Since last night's loss to the Lions, I think there's been a lot of overreactions out there, whether it be social media or fan bases out there. But I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to make excuses or give you excuses. I'm here to give you a double dose of good news after a heartbreaking loss. And I think what was said post game is really important for the Packers moving forward, getting better, picking up the pieces, getting to the playoffs, hopefully going far into the playoffs. Here's what Matt LaFleur had to say post their loss.
Like I told our team, I mean, we're going to have to earn the right to potentially come back here. And it's not going to be easy, and we got to put in the work. And but I'm confident in the resiliency of our group, and that they're going to continue to fight and push each other to get better and stay connected.
Love it. Love what he had to say there, because it's just like, hey, listen, at the end of the day, we have to earn getting back here, getting back to Detroit, playing this team yet again. Hopefully we can do it in the playoffs, but we're going to have to put in the work. I've got confidence in these guys to be able to put in the work. They believe in themselves. The coaching staff believes in it. At the end of the day, I think coaching, they're going to take a look at the film from this game. They're going to take a look at the pieces, what they have to do to improve and get better. If you remember last year, Joe Barry, Matt LaFleur had to step in for the kind of the mess that was happening on defense. I'm not comparing that. I'm not saying that Jeff Hafley is Joe Barry and all that. Jeff Hafley is a much better defensive coordinator than Joe Barry ever was. But at the end of the day, I think Matt LaFleur, he might, take a step into this, and we assess the games coming up, take a look at it and help Jeff Hafley out. I'm sure Jeff Hafley doesn't need any help there, but giving some suggestions is always a good thing. So what was the other part of the double dose of good news? Well, it comes from our Pro Bowl tackle, Kenny Clark. And I love the hunger. I love you can feel the energy in his statement here. He says, we are definitely going to be back here, and we'll be excited to play them once we do get here. But it's tough. It's a tough loss. You got to get better from here, and we will get better from here. I love the confidence that Kenny Clark has, believing in himself, believing in the group of guys around him, believing what it takes. He knows what it takes to get to the playoffs, get into the playoffs, get far into the playoffs. Kenny Clark has been there and done that. So let's take a look at the Packers post-game numbers here overall. I think the alarming stat that jumps out to me is the total yards here. You got 391 total yards to the Packers, 298. That's not going to get it done. The Packers being outperformed offensively by almost 100 yards. And then you look at the time of possession, that plays a huge part into the total yards there. You have 36 minutes of time of possession to the Packers 23. They had the ball 13 more minutes in the game. That's nearly a quarter. So that's not going to get it done either, because the defense has got to find ways to get themselves out the football field. And I think Matt LaFleur, again, if he has to step in defensively, offer some suggestions to Jeff Hafley and all of that. There's a bright group of guys there. I believe in the coaching staff there. But another glaring stat that jumps out is that third down efficiency. The Lions were 7 of 15. But even more alarming, they were 4 of 5 on fourth downs. And, at the end of the day, we can take a look at the fourth downs, get super pissed off about it. I was so upset when Dan Campbell decided to go for it on that fourth down. And at the end of the day, at the end of the game, I was upset because I knew that the Packers weren't going to be able to stop them on defense. I knew they were going to get the first down, not be able to give the ball back to Jordan Love and company. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say to support that. He said, I just felt like we needed to end it on our offense, and I did not want to give the ball back to them, back to Jordan Love, back to that good group of guys. And I believed that we could get that. I believe that they could get the first down. He said, I believe that we would convert it. I trusted our O-line. I trusted in David Montgomery, and they came through for us. It's a hell of a call by offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. I knew it. I wanted to play this type of game. If you remember, before the week started with his team, Dan Campbell said, hey, listen, this is going to be a messy game. We're going against a very good team in the Packers, so we're going to be going for it a lot on fourth downs. We're banged up on defense. So I believe that the best chance to win this game is to be able to give the ball into our offensive hands. So we're going to be going for it a bunch on fourth down. Okay, so let's take a look a little bit further at the stats here. By the way, on fourth down, since this year, just this year, the two matchups between the Packers and the Lions have gone for it a total of 7 times on fourth down. Okay, that's very tough for any defense out there, knowing that you're going to have to stop this team, not just 3 plays, but you're going to have to stop them 4 plays. I don't even care if it's on their 30, as Dan Campbell did yesterday, and he lost that possession, thankfully, one of the only ones that they've gone for it a total of 7 times in the 2 games. They've converted 6 of those 7 fourth downs this season. And by the way, they've scored 4 out of the 6 touchdowns after they've gone for it on fourth down. Okay, so those are some huge stats. And at the end of the day, we can take a look at Dan Campbell, think this dude's a cowboy, think that he is just a crazy man. I thought he was crazy, but at the end of the day, I thought he was crazy because I didn't want him to do it because I knew the defense wasn't going to stop him. Okay, so Jared Goff, 32 of 41, and the Packers have got to get that cleaned up. 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Hats off to Keyshawn Nixon with that pick. I thought he was one of the bright spots, one of the only. Him and Kenny Clark were, a couple of the bright spots on defense for the Packers. Jordan Love, 12 of 20, throwing the ball 20 times, 21 less times than Jared Goff, isn't going to get the job done in a divisional game against a good opponent like the Lions. The Lions are the best team in football at the moment. Hopefully the Packers can knock them down, because at the end of the day, you have to be able to, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. So the Lions are going to have to take that momentum, get into the playoffs. So the Packers need to finish strong, take that momentum, get into the playoffs. Josh Jacobs, 18 carries, 66 yards, 3 touchdowns, a heartbreaking pick by Christian Watson. Whether we agree with the play or not, or the call or not, on that possession, Josh Jacobs scores a touchdown, would have had 4 touchdowns on the game, but that gets overturned because of that penalty by Christian Watson. I thought Christian Watson had a very nice game, 4 receptions, 114 yards. He games out against Detroit. Packers are going to have to remember that come playoff time. Again, you take a look defensively for the Packers. They come away with 1 takeaway. The Lions come away with 1 takeaway. Christian Watson had that fumble. That was a heartbreaker. And at the end of the day, you've got to be able to put up more than 7 points in the first half. So the Packers they know that they got to play better. And I think the pieces are there. They've just got to piece them all together. But double dose of good news from Matt LaFleur, having the confidence in the team. I have every bit of confidence in this team. You got to remember, this team is a very young team. They're the youngest team in the league, not just last year, but this year. So they're going to have to pick up the pieces, and what they do from here is going to be the telltale. Leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts on this loss. Go Pack Go.